Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. Yes, I... Sure, mister. Absolutely.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer.
Is this about the questions again? 'Cause, wow. I didn't know you worked for the union, sir. Anything else?
No, you don't work for the union. The union works for you.
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe.
She looks up.
Fine. For it doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me? As a police officer, you must understand that I cannot take you at your evidence being money. You can't stay here without money. Not until you bring me the money.
Okay, I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
I really didn't want to resort to this. The man is thinking.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here. Yes, have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed? What about what I have been through, huh? You're not the goddamn protagonist of this story.
Literary demotion. That's the worst.
Good luck trying to use it.
Draconian measures.
All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before you'll get... Not until you...
Okay,
I really didn't.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back.
transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are
I confiscated these for a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners. The tear machine step. Your bottles clunk. Woman still. couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign. You see rows of top. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back. Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man?
Oh, that's the headless phone rider. There's been a lot of interest in that particular figurine.
He doesn't elaborate on these wrong hands.
I've heard about it. I've heard the headless phone rider ride the headless bull.
Yes, there are several competing versions of the story, but I believe this figurine is the headless phone rider. It's an urban legend. About 50 cents. Bargain priced. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think
He lost his cap when he lost his head. Perhaps he's looking for the head. The boomboxes on the shelf look one especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber. This is you. Gold and orange. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape. Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music.
That's odd. Why doesn't he like music?
The stuff I record myself
Maybe.
is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Yes, officer.
His manner is casual.
It was brought to me to be...
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say. There's also the matter of rewiring, but the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures. It's not what can I do?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately.
Who are your customers?
All kinds of people come through here. Local, as you can see. I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained. I doubt it. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery.
He doesn't know anything. The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon, and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit. Truth be told, she was...
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
My apologies, officer, but I have...
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everard wasn't lying and the Union can track her down in time.
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know...
Maybe Claire really is tracking down
people as oleaginous as...
Of course.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners are...
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some?
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
Of course. I meant no offense. 200 real for...
Thank you. Here's the 130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest is for him, to compensate for the pain of being separated.
Anything else you're thinking of selling? Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps.
Hey. Psst. Psst. Hey, yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building. Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too? Good. We need tender men like you building gargantuan communism. Word on the street, you keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket. Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mark. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's about, yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped, and you alone, against every living thing. You against the atom, the charm and the spin. Now get to work, comrade. Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the world no objections. It's mathematically impossible to achieve. Anyone? Anyone? There's no one. Okay then, lie down and let the water carry you downstream.
another thing. Yes? Yes, have you... well? Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance. The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can...
Yes?
You see, the door is closed. Still, the lieutenant gives you a... This is the door to the room.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides, we should discuss...
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum.
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM? I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something...
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man...
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day. Well, we didn't even look at the body. And there's still much to do at the crime scene too. We didn't search it thoroughly enough. It's not my job to evaluate your methodology, officer. I'm just going through it. We conducted an interview with... He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. That's normal. It's best we talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us.
If Kim is emphasizing something this much...
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice? It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in the nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange. They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Ravachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 re. The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Ravachol. Yes, although indirectly, officers of the RCM we can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in the watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power. We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couvon and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to the coalition government. And the RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Ravachol be sentimental if you like. Either way, the Moralintern Lyceum,
Or if they think you do.
the Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running the... Okay. They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the region. What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence.
Those others say.
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and you something almost something ominous. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The Moralintern are a fact. I tried... Do you? No. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting the people of Ravachol. That's the head. Sadly, it is what we already are to the people of Martinez. Most of them, at least. Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go. Yes?
can I help you?
You see a heavy steel door. The door does not budge. The worker is in a deep slumber. The worker is in a deep slumber. You fumble with this like fucking slave.
Stop finger-fucking him, officer! I'm responsible for these oafs and their stuff. Even Sleepy there. Fine. Finger bang him then. I don't...
You gently shake his The worker is in a deep slumber. Your fingers find their way into the shackle. Flicking open, the man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Better be quick. You find a black paper note with a woman's profile on it. Seems like this woman lived centuries ago. The note says, 5 real. It feels yum, money. Think of all the things you can buy with this. The synopsis, you slip the plastic ID card out of the loop and pocket it just for the record. You look nothing like the man on the dock. The sleeping dock worker has... You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A, and then accelerated straight into the fence. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before heading south. Must have been in a hurry. Maybe, probably, an ominous warning of bad. There are several footprints. Sitting at a desk, Lieutenant Kitsuragi fiddles with a pen, then writes something on the paper in front of him.
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't...
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now. An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material. An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. Because it's nice and all, it reveals no... An inconspicuous pile of the... Because there's a secret door hid. There it is. You see a shabby little door. Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet amphetamine. Responsible drug use.
Kuno care? You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in? Shit. Get the fuck out of here.
You can't do that, Kuno.
Pigs can't displace. Can't do that teleport shit. How did you like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right? Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape. Yeah, Kuno plays on snuff radio, fucks pigs, live, fucks their heads off. Kuno's a cop killer. That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the...
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old, but you could have that sparkle in your eyes.
It's a vitamin, pig. Don't you know anything?
You could use some.
Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a...
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna to use it against you, Kuno!
You're not getting this, Pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
Fuck you, Pig! Don't do...
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think.
Whoa. What a bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation, I guess so. Just because... Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. You see a young man on a balcony.
Not looking for any trouble, officer. There's no trouble. I'm just speaking in a lowered... I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to...
Don't let him go. This could be your witness.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at...
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken? Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
No, not you. Some more muscular type. I couldn't tell you. We don't usually see much of the gendarmerie around here. Last week? I don't know. Look.
A downy blanket of white to cover up the misery. He's deflecting. He's young with a sharp memory. He hasn't had time to drown it in booze and chemicals.
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
He doesn't reply.
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
That's definitely not his real name.
No, of course not. No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself before his very feet like a dog.
No, for God's sake, I don't want you to cry. Listen, I really have to go. Good luck with the investigation.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl. There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt. Looks like it could belong to the building's front door. This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place. This must be the door Everard mentioned. You still need to get the key. This door has been closed with it's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deep. Better whip out those cutters. No reply. No reply. No reply. No reply. This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number. This door has been closed with the shackle snaps like a twig and the lock falls. A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged Krasmazov Nomdegir was an economist and a theoretical historian. He was a poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet. You hear someone walking around. The walking stops abruptly. You can feel tension on the other side. Sounded like a woman. A poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet. It's generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason.
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis. I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about... Now, what do you want?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residence.
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the dead.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio.
What's he in trouble for? Talk?
What was so funny about?
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. I'm no one. Just an old... If you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't
She hasn't spoken to anyone.
Ask away. No one lives there. It's been empty for months. Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there. Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman? Great. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallways with trinkets. Oh, that one is a scientist. A future Scot. I think he studies astrology at the community. Something to do with all those stars around the symbol of what now? Huh. I thought Revachol was the capital. The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls fast. She leaves an old lady to her business. Oh.
You hear someone walking around it. You have plenty of reason to enter. Well, that was easy.
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here.
Boy, there are a lot of different keys there.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour. I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place. It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner.
A sudden serious look crosses her face.
But that was months ago. Anyway, it is. Everyone says the real estate agents don't do anything. But here I am. So the sooner we get this over with, Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't a hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that.
The sum must have been puny.
Well, it does not disappear from my hands. No, I don't let it. These apartments are perfect. I'll tell you, Martinez has a future. In a few years, it's going to blossom with artists and creatives and those. Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how both apartments are, of course. What now? Of course.
In your hands, indeed. The book is unusually heavy in your. It would do that in Grad. You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized. Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicide, the back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph. She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph. And yet, in cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from the Yugo-Grad riots took place from 27 to 29. Fueled by ethnic unrest and the state's repressive tactics, these events, as ethnic tensions run wild, it would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure? They go through a brief and somewhat awkward love affair. And in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity. He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life. She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor, and as the memory of their short time spent together tortures the former as life leaves their remains between the soil sheets. Their final thoughts are filled with regret. Ruination has come. The broken arches betray a great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coast. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling. The waves of the Martinez Inlet roll over the fallen remains. What didn't fall into those arches acted as support for something greater than only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12. A fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad, with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army, hundreds of vessels. They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. Many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves, but here you are. Yeah, I can see that. Cool music.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint, it's heavy.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? This shit is pumped out of government vehicles. You ain't seen nothing yet, Piggy Boo. Hello again, officer. Ooh. Not only have you found my address.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Does anyone in a city like this? Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me. It doesn't have to do anything at all.
The inspiration will come to her once hell is set.
Shoot, Piggy.
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pen. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century, and quickly, even today, half a century, to symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it. Because white is the color of peace. Nothing at This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony. No one answers. Looks like he isn't home. You should come back tomorrow evening, after 21.
Matter of fact, I don't.
I have a medical... Of course. That's what I'm... You have. And how did you like Mr. Clare? Of course. He must have his practical uses. He could have kept it with corruption. Fantastic, of course. I don't expect you to share anything. How could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's tale?
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, down the road? Until then, is there any...
It is the dead of night. Now is not the time for sitting, but it's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. Arson. Petty you don't exact. It takes about half an... This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8th cause of failure. Rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are true love is possible. Only in the next world. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial. The case files do not show you finding the author of the crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which the 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options. A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us. Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next, or are we done? AKA Leslie and Burke, a.k.a. the public indecency drunk, and Leslie will always take his pants. The only way for Leslie to stop displaying his genitals and for Burke to stop attacking things would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features. You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No. Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and can you keep yourself off the street? Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are. No, that's Burke. Leslie's shtick is flashing his genitals, remember? How will you ever solve the unsolvable case if you can't even get that straight? Well, turns out it's pretty simple. He must have confused it with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're also drunk. Drunk out of your mind on potent pills. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it. But he came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull. That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound. Who knows? Those pages are missing. What? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it, in the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. Yes, as you said here, total assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about that they were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to wet cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next? Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard. The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too. Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. It smells of chewing gum. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Luke, a young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile. You think, Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Throw it away, please. Outside, you hear the wind howl. A sudden gale blows in from Martinez.
Come outside.
Far away and outside, the reeds hiss with desperation. Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be you, Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. A streetcar. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No, hold on. To what? There's nothing.